Hello all, it's Catherine Massell, Ascending Earth Creatrix, Master Intuitive Energy Healer, coming to you live today on this fabulous Tuesday. And I apologize for coming on a little later than I wanted to. I got some technical difficulties today. I don't have the best Wi-Fi where I live up here in the mountains of Tahoe, so it's kind of hit or miss with my internet connection. So I'm at the whim of that. When I get better at my time bending skills, that won't even be an issue. So let me make sure I'm live. I'm gonna share here. If you're jumping on live, please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Here we go. Boom. And I might even go ahead and share it on my local page, because why not? Oh, that's not a group. Here we go. Here I am. Okay. Cool. All right. So today, I want to talk about something. Hi, Tanya. Hello. I saw your post today. I would love for you to share it in our Ascending Earth Creatrix group if you feel comfortable with that. Your 9/11 poem. It's very, very powerful. If you feel called to. I always invite people to share in my group as much as possible. It's a very, very high vibe, very loving group. But Tanya, you know that because you're in the group. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Today I have a really juicy topic to discuss. The healer and her healing journey. A couple different things about that. My intention is not to go very long talking about this because I'm fairly aware of I'm fully aware of the fact that brevity is not my thing, and when I get talking, it's easy for me to keep talking. I never have a problem with that. My dream to be a TED Talk guest at some point is going to be a real challenge for me to condense what I have to say. I think you have 22 minutes or something like that. It can be done, but it will take a lot of tweaking on my part. But my goal was not to talk very long today, but I want to talk about three things specifically around this topic that I think are really, really important right now. It's one of the reasons why, one of the strong forces behind why I teach Heal Awaken Bootcamp, Heal Awaken Align Bootcamp, which is a 6-week course for spiritual entrepreneurs who are wanting to refresh, reimagine, maybe even build their spiritual business and bring it from the paradigm of 3D into 5D. There's a lot of things involved in that. And if you want to look at what those are, you can go to catherinemassell.com/Heal Awaken Align Bootcamp. And the full details of the course are there. And I am offering a special on it for today and tomorrow. You get $50 off the payment plan price and $100 off the early bird price. This expires tomorrow night. Hi, Tammy. So if you're interested in that, I'll have some more details and I'll post that at the end when I post this video. So the healer and her healing journey. Those of us who are called in this lifetime to be healers, to work with others, in a very, very sacred exchange of doing healing work, guiding someone, mentoring someone, coaching someone through a healing and release process is a really profound gift and a sacred partnership that we engage in as healers. Whether you call yourself a light bearer, a way shower, maybe you have your own modality and that has its own moniker, whether you call yourself a coach, a mentor, it's all distilled down to the same essence. There's still a common denominator there, and that is that we are only as good as healers as our last training. So meaning whatever kind of training we get or mentoring, coaching ourselves allows us to be in a better position to serve as healers, coaches, mentors. We're only as good as our last training. So when you think about that, that means that we can only offer something from exactly what we've extracted, gleaned, the wisdom we've gained up till this point. That doesn't mean to say that we can't keep growing as healers, and we should. Part of our sacred calling also means that we understand this call to action from the universe, that we keep doing our own healing and releasing process, our own upgrading process, meaning we offer a greater value of our services because we are getting more training. Hi, Svetlana. We are receiving more of the guidance that we need in order to heal ourselves, to be engaged very dynamically in our own healing process. That's involved in our training too. Meaning, this dynamic engagement with your own healing process, the more you say yes to your shadow, and not just say, yes, I see you, I know that you're there, I have awareness of it. A lot of times, when we're very accomplished healers especially, and we've been doing this work for a long time, and I've fallen prey to this too, I've been doing this work for 17 years, we kind of rest on our laurels a little bit and think that, yeah, I see this part of shadow, I see this other layer that needs to be peeled away or excavated or exhumed, whatever that is, but I'm running a business, I don't have time for that right now. But when you think about the very nature of your business, and very much how I think about my business, my spiritually based business, it is that tangible part of my spiritual journey realized. Hi, Liz. So if you believe, as I do, that your business is that tangible point of expression of your spiritual journey realized, then everything that you're doing in your life on your spiritual journey of uncovering, of healing, of release, of expansion, of upgrading, that all gets distilled and funneled into your business. How can it not? Because your business, and this is especially true for those of us who have a spiritually based business, is a very profound extension of you. It will echo things that you are doing that are self-affirming on your journey of spiritual expansion, and it will also echo things that are self-negating on your journey of spiritual expansion, meaning the shadow you're saying no to. Maybe this is right now for some of you. So if you're saying yes to your shadow, you're saying, yes, show me what's there. I want to see this healing journey through. I want to peel away these layers, which is basically what my last 3 months have been all about. But I'm the wiser for it, and I'm the better for it. And I know that cleaning my energetic vessel, literally that part of me that holds space for someone else on their healing journey, on their journey of expansion, I'm only coming through as a pure vehicle delivery. I'm only coming through as a pure vessel. I'm operating at my highest integrity then. Hi, Svetlana. So you are able to hold more space if you are actively, dynamically engaged in your own healing process, which means you are doing everything that you can to get to the other side of your healing journey. For many of us, this is shaking out recently, like it seems like we're throwing everything at it. Does anyone echo what I'm talking about here or understand what I'm talking about? It just seems like, my friend Becky put it, it's like throwing spaghetti at a wall. We're just trying everything to do this healing process. And some of us are feeling frustrated, and some of us are feeling overwhelmed. Some of us are feeling like it's never going to end. Well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you and tell you that, yeah, you get to this place where you're all healed and you're all good. That is not part of our divine pact with the universe when we came to this human experience. We knew that we would be on this constant journey of uncovering more of who we are. And the only way we do that is from downloading lessons from our own healing process, gleaning the wisdom from our own healing journey. This is the only way this happens. We will never fully realize our potential here on this plane, in this dimension, in this 3D timeline, because we keep expanding, we keep growing. That means that every time we are asking for more, every time we are becoming more, we're also asking for any of the resistance or anything that's running counter to that up level. We're asking to be able to see that. So understanding that this is our kind of divine pact with pure source being, if you are saying no to your shadow, if you're saying no to your healing process, in a sense, you're also saying no to your own divinity. How does that hit you? It's big, I know, but think about it this way. You knew exactly, and I truly believe this, and I've seen and felt so much evidence of this in my own healing work. I truly believe that those of us who have come here to be healers in this lifetime, we knew we would be operating in an ascension timeline. We knew that we would be operating in a time to assist others through a healing process when major shifts would be happening on this earth plane. And we agreed, we volunteered to come here and assist during this time. If you believe that, as I do, that means that your call to action is to step up every single part of what you're doing. That means upgrading in terms of bringing in more of your gifts, upgrading in terms of doing the healing, doing the release, saying yes to your shadow. You're able to hold more space and energy this way for what you wish to call forth. You get to access more wisdom from your own healing process to share with your ideal soulmate clients. You know what steps to take then because you've just come through it. You know what to look at. You know what to look for. You know the pitfalls. But you also, because you've come out of your own healing process and journey, you also know what the feeling is of coming out on that other side of that healing process. You're able to share that too. I want to read some of your comments here. Cleaning so much, new layer every day. Yep. Sometimes I feel I need a break. And it's okay. Give yourself a break. It's not like you have to go, ovaries to the wall on this healing process. Give yourself a break. But be willing to be actively and dynamically engaged in your own healing process. Remember, part of the healing process, a big part of the healing process, is the integration of the lessons that you're downloading after you go through this healing process and come out on the other side of it. That means taking a break. That means letting the dust settle. That means letting all of the pieces of this puzzle fit back into the places they need to. If we try to force it and do the work to force it, it's counterintuitive. So that is the rest, Svetlana, if that makes you feel better. That when you come out of this healing process and you feel like, okay, I have broken through something here. I felt like I was going to break down, but I'm really breaking through, which is what's happening for a lot of us. Many of us feel like we're on the verge of a breakdown. What it really is meaning for us, especially as healers, is that we're on the verge of a breakthrough. It's been happening for many women I've been working with as well. So you're not alone. But understand that integration, that time that you allow to process the healing, is your break, okay? Valuing myself, clearing the unworthiness. Yes, absolutely. This is a huge thing for us. And these feelings of unworthiness that we are, I'm going to just say it, voluntarily agreeing to embody is a direct snub to your own divinity. You are worthy. By being this infinite soul, having this human experience that you agreed, you volunteered to come to, you knew that you'd be in a process of constantly remembering or putting together more pieces of your own divinity. So it is really up to us to break through the feelings of unworthiness. We are source energy. We are the Mother Creatrix energy. It's that fertile seed of all creation that lives within us. And in our own timelines, all of this is being revealed to us in our own divine timing, based on where we are in our spiritual journey. And I just put out an offer today for that. So if you want to read more about partnering with the Mother Creatrix within and have these sessions with me, leave it in the comments and I'll make sure to tag you in the post. Resistance has been so strong and I'm opening up as a result. Yes, you can't, it's part of the process. Opening up is part of that process. And sometimes we fear doing the work because maybe we fear this vulnerability. We fear this opening up because that means then that we have to take greater responsibility for what comes next. This can instill a lot of fear in us, but remember, that's just ego programming doing exactly what it's supposed to do, exactly what it's wired to do. But it's not real. Because I will tell you from my experience of the last 3 months going down the rabbit hole in my own healing process, coming out on the other side of this has only been expansive. It has only been eye-opening, heart-opening, mind-opening. It has been the most enriching and powerful experience to anchor into my own divinity in this way, to fully inherit that and say yes to it, Breaking Brave, hello. Lamorla, hello. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. And when we're able to talk about what it feels like to be on the other side of this healing process, I will tell you very, very specifically what has happened for me as I've done this, as I've said yes to my shadow, as I've said, yes, I want the awareness of the lessons I'm meant to bring in and integrate at this time. Yes, I want this to translate in a more profound way in the work that I do, in the way I deliver my services to my clients. This is what is important to me. Because what is important to me is to be in full integrity with who I am as a healer. That means being actively and dynamically engaged in my own healing process, always, without exception, period, the end. And then to bring forth the best of that wisdom, the best of that knowledge, those tools, those steps, whatever that is, that I can share with my soulmate clients. You can only serve in greater ways when you do this, when you constantly say yes to your shadow in your own healing process. And I'll tell you what's happened for me is that as I've come out of healing certain things, healing certain wounds, that some of them for me were core wounds, things that I came to this existence with, things that directly projected in my physical human experience time and again on a loop cycle of behavior really in this lifetime. And I was at this point where I was like, this is over. This is done. I'm so done with this. Boring. This thing again, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. And having that sense of dedication and commitment and feeling that in every core of my being, and then be able to take actions, profound actions, divine inspired action on clearing that, shifting that, coming to the other side of that. It was like creating this energetic signature for those ladies who were meant to do this work also to find me. Because the women I started attracting when I was actively and dynamically engaged in working with this level of shadow, exactly what I was working on, these women were coming to me without me soliciting them, by the way. The only thing that was being put out, the feelers that were being put out, was my own energetic signature, like a beacon of light. Because my dedication to my healing process and coming out on the other side of that was so strong, I can only believe that this created such a strong energetic signature, an imprint, like a beacon of light, like a lighthouse, like casting a net, literally, to draw these soulmate clients to me, these women who are working on the same thing, so that I could be in a better position then to help them through this process. I was surprised by it, but I wasn't surprised by it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I feel this way too, and I'm 38. Breaking Brave says that, like, I was so wrapped up in raising kids, I never took the time to heal and fix. Yes, I know. Life is happening all the time as we are attempting to do this work. The struggle is real. But what is more real is who we are in truth, our real divinity. We're here to express ourselves in the highest and best way possible. There is always time to do that. I truly believe that. It's about priorities, however. And not that your children aren't a priority. I'm not diminishing that. But it is about saying that the journey of this individual is far more important than mine, and that it trumps my own journey, my own needs. You can have both. Both things can be in balance. This is one of the things that I help women with, by the way. Yes, and I'm afraid to share my breakthroughs out of some sort of guilt for staying broken for so long. There's a nice nugget right there. How much have you been working on that, my dear? What have you been really looking at there? When we have that degree of revelation like what you just shared, and thank you, if you are true to your name, you are brave. Thank you for sharing that. Because that would be a vulnerable thing for many women to even admit to in a post or in a free talk here. So thank you for doing that, because that is mirrored in at least 3 women watching here, if not more. Yes? Just give me a heart, okay? If that's true. That is very inspiring. Thank you, because I sort of think that I'm not as good as a healer because I have so much to work on. See, this is why I want to do this talk. Okay. Thanks for playing, ladies. I love your comments, and I love it when you're honest with me, because then I can really get into the nitty-gritty and we can really kind of break through some stuff here. So here's another thing, a lovely little side effect, a couple of different side effects that happen when we are not saying yes to our shadow, not saying yes to our healing journey, and kind of resting on our laurels and thinking, as I did, and I'll fully admit this, I've been doing this work for 17 years. I've been doing nothing but peeling away layers of resistance. And you know what? I'm just going to do what I need to do for a while. I know that this stuff is there and it's kind of sitting there and whatever. And a big thing for me was my money story, which really had to be fixed. Because if you saw my comment the other day, if you don't work on your money story as a healer, and if you have a healing business, that healing business becomes an expensive hobby rather than a business. A business is there to make money. So I had to heal my money story, which meant I had to look at a lot of feelings of unworthiness. I had to look at a lifetime of devaluing my worth until I came to the other side of it and realized that it has nothing to do with me and my worth, the money. It has everything to do with the value of the content that I provide for my clients. That was a huge breakthrough for me, so you're welcome. I keep waiting to feel fixed enough to be of service to others. That's huge, huge, huge. Okay. Understanding this. Our healing journey is never complete because we can never realize our full potential here while on this earth plane, in this human existence. On our human timeline, we are constantly expanding, we are constantly growing. So every time we ask for more, the universe lovingly shows us all the resistance that we're holding that runs counter to accessing or calling forth more. This is part of our healing process. And it's okay, because every single one of us has this. Every single one of us. You are not alone. To think that you must be fixed implies the idea that you are somehow broken. This is not true either. We may have the experience of soul fracturing based on certain wounding that we have, and that may lead us to believe that we need to be fixed. But you are in this process of healing. Every time you go through a healing process and come out the other side of that healing journey, you are calling forth the parts of you that you've disinherited or disavowed. You're calling back these tethers to you that only bring forth more of your wholeness. So if you understand and equate your healing journey with every time I go through a healing journey, every time I'm going through a release process, I am just part and parcel of that, calling back those tethers that I've disinherited, disowned, disavowed. More of that returns home. So it's not that you're broken. There may be some fracturing there. There may be parts of you that you have put out to the universe on loan to whatever limiting beliefs, limiting situations, maybe to people that you've had tumultuous relationships with, whatever that is. Every time you come out of this healing process, you call more of that back to you. You are becoming more whole. So this is something that should make you feel a little bit better about being engaged in your dynamic healing process. But also understanding that all of us that are here, and I'm assuming that most of you who are here understand the basic ideas of the ascension process, that the earth is shifting into a higher vibration. We're not going anywhere in a physical sense. The earth is shifting into a higher vibrational alignment. This is why so many new gifts are coming in for us, maybe even new levels of gifts that we already possess, a higher sense of clairvoyance, a heightened sense of clairaudience, whatever that is. Maybe you have new gifts coming in that you don't even know how to talk about yet. And this is one of the things I help you with in Heal, Awaken, Align Bootcamp, by the way. Because a lot of us have a hard time articulating these new gifts that are coming in. We don't even understand them yet, or have a way to fully utilize them yet, let alone being able to be comfortable enough to talk about these gifts, or to understand how these gifts can directly benefit the clients we're working with now. This is just one of the ways we're experiencing this shift from going from 3D into 5D and dimensions beyond, elevated consciousness beyond that. So what is supported in this 5D timeline? If you think of the emotional spectrum, okay, and you have the low end of the emotional spectrum, that is holding the energetics, and they vibrate at a very, very low energetic frequency, by the way. Blame, fear, resentment, grief, sorrow, lack, anger even. Anger's a little further up though. And then at the other end of the emotional spectrum is forgiveness, love, mercy, kindness, compassion, faith, trust. Very, very high vibrational energetic frequencies. What is supported in terms of the emotional spectrum in the 5D timeline and beyond, actually the 4D timeline and beyond, is this higher end of the emotional spectrum. So these energies that we are marinating in here when we're not actively engaged in a healing process, these are not supported in 5D, meaning we can't take this baggage, we can't take this crap with us. It literally is not supported there. So it is keeping us from this ascension process. Does that make sense? So when we are agreeing to marinate in these low energies, when we are saying no to our shadow, when we are saying no to being actively, dynamically engaged in our own healing process, again, we are saying no to our divinity. We are saying no to this elevated consciousness that is right there waiting for us. And the only thing keeping us from it is our own resistance, is our own unwillingness to do this work. Yes, but my goodness, it's all around us. Do you mean the low vibration energy? It absolutely is. But it is always your choice to lean into that or not to. Here's a big thing to bite off and chew. If we are not willing to do this work, I'm speaking to those of you who are healers, those of you who have come here to help the planet ascend and feel that this is part of your divine mission, those of you who have come here to shine a light, those of you who have come here to take others by the hand and lead them to this better place, if we are not the ones who will step up and do this work, who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? I know that feels like a huge amount of accountability. I know that feels like a huge amount of responsibility. But again, you are a free will being, exercising free will choice. This is the call to action being issued to you. You can decide to step up to it or not. Is it entirely your choice? Is it entirely your choice? I have chosen, as a healer, as a way shower, as a master intuitive energy healer, to say yes to this. And saying yes to this charge, this very mighty pact and sacred agreement, I know that involved in that means I must be actively involved in this healing process. I must be able to look at the energy in the collective and say, that is not mine to work on. Yes, all of these energies are present. Yes, they surround us. But are you engaging in that? Are you actively leaning into that energy? Enacting behaviors that keep these timelines of low vibrations alive? That's your choice too. If you haven't guessed it, I'm not that kind of healer or mentor that will enable any kind of martyrdom or victim mentality whatsoever. We are all 100% responsible for 100% of our reality. Everything that gets laid in front of you in terms of how you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to have, is a choice based on your free will sovereignty in this lifetime. So I'm talking to that part of you that knows that, okay? You guys get me? Just so there's no illusion here, this is who you're dealing with. This is who I am, okay? So I will only speak to you in terms of that empowered part of self that already understands all this. Because that infinite nature within, that seed of the divine creative mother within, already understands exactly what I'm laying down here. I'm speaking to that part of you. So that's how we, Allison says, no, you are not. So that's how we navigate that, to just disengage with things we can see are not resonating. It's more about, engagement is a huge part of it. But our charge as healers is to see those triggers and then ask ourselves, what can I do to raise the vibration of that. I'll give you a perfect example. Yesterday, I did a live on grounding and protecting, because one of the things that is very, very important for me, and one of the most important things for me to share with other healers, especially those of us who are newbies, or not us, I'm not a newbie, I've been here a while. Those who are operating in this field as newbies, they don't understand the power of and the importance of protecting the integrity of their energy and the energy of the clients that they're working with. Grounding and protecting is extremely important. So I went on yesterday and the reason this came up is because I was seeing so many posts of new healers offering their services and offering all these healing practices for free, which involves, you're not really vetting who you're working with when you're just going on live and doing a free healing, offering even a free angel card reading, something like that, where you are dabbling with someone else's energy. This is a slippery slope if you're not protecting the integrity of your energy, if you're not grounding yourself. You can do more harm than good. So instead of being triggered by that and going on a rant, which I could have easily done, like, you new healers operating out of integrity, what are you doing? And I see a lot of self-proclaimed spiritual healers who go on and do these rants, and it's like, well, that's not solving anything. And you are engaged, but not in a way that is powerful or transformative. So my idea was to come on live and talk about what happens when you don't protect and ground your energy. Instead of being triggered and just going on this rant and just being like in a place of judgment of all these people, I decided to elevate the consciousness of it. We are being asked to find creative pathways to do that all the time, those of us who are here as healers. But even if you're here as just a human being, maybe you're not doing healing work, it is our charge to look out for each other. Because as we move on this, and we're on a very accelerated track on this ascension timeline right now, we are rooting into this connection of, it's not just me anymore, it's us. Yes? Focus on the solution, not the problem. Yes, that's the higher energetic. Always look for the higher energetic. It's so easy to get drawn into someone's drama and chaos and commiserate. But what does that solve? Nothing. Zero. Big fat donut hole. Nothing. Always look for the higher energetic. How can I bring some light into this situation? That is what I've chosen to do. My intention as a healer, as a human being, having this experience on my human ascension timeline here on planet Earth, is to leave this place better than I found it. Now that sounds like a lofty goal. For me, it's just biting off pieces at a time. It's bite-sized chunks. And those bite-sized chunks are presented to me every single day in the way I see humans interact with each other, the way I see spiritual healers interact with each other, the women that come to me to do this profound work together, which I take very seriously. It's about the bite-sized chunks. We can get easily overwhelmed when we think about everything that needs to be done before we can ascend. Okay, great. Reverse engineer it then. Start looking at the little things you can start doing right now. Because nothing changes if nothing changes. I know some people hate that, but it's true. If you don't take a different behavior every single day, if you don't bring a higher energetic in every day, how do we expect anything to change? Yes? You're answering my question above. Thank you. I didn't see your question. Did your question get answered, Tanya? Or, yeah, okay. If it didn't, let me know. Ask it again, because I don't see all the comments all the time. So, if you can't take your baggage with you into 5D, and you know that this is directly inhibiting your ascension process, what are you willing to do about it? Let me see if I can find your comment. How do I get on the other side of the chicken and the egg, and that I want to invest in support like Heal Awaken Align Bootcamp, yet the money isn't there to do it, and clients aren't coming for me to support and be supported? I know that's the tough part, isn't it? Because we want to be able to do this work in more profound ways, which means we are asking for the right mentor to come along. We're asking for the right healer to come along. And when we jibe with someone's vibe, we're like, oh my God, I want to work with that person right now. I don't even know what they're offering, but everything they're saying is so juicy and it's so wonderful. I want to work with that person right now. So I use the passion of that kind of ebullient feeling of desire to amplify things like, I use affirmations, which really, really help me. I'll post a little thing about affirmations in here that will help you, Tanya. And you are a perfect candidate for Heal, Awaken, Align Bootcamp, and that's why I reached out to you before. I am offering a discount on it tonight, so I don't know if you want to take a look at that, and I'll post it here. Because I'm doing just until tomorrow night, $50 off the payment plan. There is a payment plan, and $100 off the full price. So you can take a look at it here. So that discounts until tomorrow night. But the early bird ends this Saturday. So you can save $500 on the whole price right now. There it is, Breaking Brave. I'll share with you in the comments here a really juicy thing that I help you guys with in Heal, Awaken, Align Bootcamp. I talk about affirmations. They are different from affirmations. And again, I'm answering your question here specifically, Tanya. They're different from affirmations because affirmations are a statement that oftentimes when we say it out loud, like, I am rich, the subconscious automatically kicks in and says, yeah, right. No, you're not. Look at that $0 balance in your bank account. Look at all those bills stacked up on your table. And so what the subconscious does is it looks for evidence in your external environment to validate or invalidate things, okay? It is always trying to, the subconscious is always trying to translate ideas into reality. So with a statement, an affirmation, that assumes that something is true because it's a statement and the subconscious translates it as such. But when you're using an affirmation, you are taking something that you would like to be true and putting it in the form of the question. Why is it that I'm so abundant and so supported in so many ways? It's not a statement. So the subconscious isn't assuming it as truth. So in its role of trying to, it has a presupposition factor. So it's trying to, through this presupposition factor, it supposes that something could be true if you're using an affirmation. So what it tries to do is look for evidence in your external environment to validate that. This is a much more powerful shift. This is how we work with the higher energetic of the subconscious, because everything is shifting and upgrading as we move on this ascension timeline. That includes our subconscious. Everything gets an upgraded energetic, because everything goes with us, okay, including the subconscious. So this is how we kind of close the gap on getting the subconscious to work with a higher energetic. I call it the quantum field of mind, which is the field of infinite possibility and the source creatrix mind. So this helps us to look for ways to validate this in our environment. Since I've been using affirmations, and I'll use it on many, many different things, and I'll give you examples too, that really, really help you to make that shift. And then in Heal, Awaken, Align Bootcamp, we work specifically on your, let's just say your limiting beliefs, limiting behaviors, and thoughts and feelings around money. This is something we work on very, very specifically, okay? Like a bypass of the doubting. Indeed, that's a good way to put it. That's a really good way to put it. But we work on this very, very specifically in Heal, Awaken, Align Bootcamp. And I'm also going to put in the energy of money for healers, because there's some gold in there for you that may lead you to some breakthroughs. And this is just a free video that I did, and it's on my YouTube channel. So I'll put the link up in here. So the one other thing I wanted to talk about very quickly, and just to kind of recap. We're being called to have an active and dynamic engagement in our own healing process. If we're not, we are understanding that we can't take this stuff with us. This lower emotional end of the spectrum is not supported in 5D. So if we're really asking to be on this ascension process, on this ascension journey, that means we have to clear and release the baggage. We often think that there's many thinking in a very nubile way about the ascension process, and that means that we're somehow going to this fabulous place that somehow wipes out all of our human drama and chaos and turmoil, and that the slate is just magically wiped clean. That is not the case at all. We are still here on a human timeline. We are still here in 3D. As long as we occupy the energetic of a human body, as long as we have this vessel, that is our only filter for experience here on this 3D timeline. We are anchored here. Even though the Earth grid is shifting and up-leveling, we are still anchored here in 3D. So that means everything that comes with having this physical human existence is very much part of our reality as well. And we have to release and shift that which is not in alignment with where we are going in terms of the ascension process, meaning occupying a higher energetic, a higher vibration. We can't literally ascend if we're not very dynamically involved in our own healing process, and we are releasing and peeling away as many layers as we possibly can. And one of the things that really keeps us tethered to the confines of 3D is our money story. So I'm going to share this with you here. Please do watch it. There's great information in here. And I also offer a Rewrite Your Money Story session if you just wanted to work on that. There is the video. The energy of money and what it means for healers. Very specific to what we're talking about here. So the third thing, got to be involved in your dynamic process of healing so that you can be of better service to your clients and all of humanity. You can't take your shit with you into 5D. And here's the other thing that really kind of drives this home. If we are not actively and dynamically engaged in our healing process, working to peel away layers of resistance, looking at our shadow, saying yes to our shadow, we are blocking the full potency of our existing gifts. So many, many of us who are healers, we came with this toolbox. It was part of our operating system when we came here to this human timeline. We're clairvoyant, we're mediums, we're psychics, we are seers, we are clairaudient, we are claircognizant, whatever that is. Many of you are noticing that you're having an uptick in your ability to be able to perceive in whatever pathway or passageway is specifically unique to you. Many of us are also noticing, and I touched on this briefly, we have new gifts coming in. We have new abilities coming in. These are all very high vibration. This upshot or this heightened abilities, heightened sense of abilities, these heightened gifts that are coming in, these this greater resonance of our talents, this is very high vibe. These new gifts that are coming in, you may even feel like, many of us feel it so physically and so tangibly that we feel this tingling in the crown. We feel this pressure in the third eye because literally it's coming in to our awareness head first. And if we're not grounding it properly, it kind of stays there. And that's why we have a lot of ascension symptoms around that: headaches, migraines, sinus problems, things like that, if we're not actively grounding what comes in. Grounding. But this high vibe stuff that's coming in, if we are not operating at a higher energetic alignment ourselves, we can't fully access the full potency of these gifts coming in. If we're not taking care of our energetic vessel, meaning clearing on an emotional, on a mental level, all of the things that are creating resistance, that are running counter to this higher vibration that is trying to reach us, trying to connect with us, how can we access then the full potency of these gifts coming in? It's not possible. It's always going to feel like this fight. It's always going to feel like this battle. this level of suffering and this level of madness that we're actively engaging in by saying, I'm not going to look at my shadow, I'm not going to deal with my healing process, will continue until we address it and start taking different actions and start doing this healing process. And so when you think about the gravity of that, and especially as you translate that onto the template of your healing business, if you are operating at the full potency of all of your gifts and are able to fully access these new gifts coming in, think about how that translates in how you offer a greater level of service to your clients. It's huge. I'm already experiencing this. I would not have been in a place to bring in this Mother Creatrix energy, these downloads, to access this information, if I was not actively involved in my own healing process, willing and able to come out on the other side of that through all my hard work. And if I wanted to bring this in and I was seeing a glimpse of it, but I wasn't able to do this work, if I wasn't able to fully access the highest potency of this gift, I would be not that good of a healer in my estimation. Because it's like saying no to this mission that I agreed to come here and accomplish here in this lifetime. And if I'm operating in full integrity as a healer, that is exactly what I want to do. I want to help as many women as possible while I'm here. So if you reverse engineer all this, if I was saying no to my healing process, I wouldn't be able to do any of that. So if you need real help with this, if you are struggling with this, find a healer, a mentor, a coach, someone who really, really resonates with you. Someone who speaks the same language as you do, okay? Someone that you feel is accomplished on their own healing journey, is engaged in their own healing journey. Because remember, not one of us who is a healer or mentor is at the end of their healing process. They're like, I'm done. I'm healed. I'm completely healed. And beware of any coach or healer or mentor that says that's the case. Because they're promoting this kind of guru mentality, and it can be a really ugly exchange. And it's phony baloney, to be perfectly honest. Because no one, as long as you're here occupying a human body and you are on this human timeline, if you haven't fully ascended, meaning we wouldn't see you here on this timeline anymore, we'd have not an experience of you, because you'd be you'd be at such a heightened vibration that we wouldn't be able to access you or give you money for a healing exchange, if that makes sense. So beware of people who are extolling the virtues of how ascended or healed they are. Be more engaged with someone who is actively involved in their healing journey and is willing to talk about it. Not that they have to lay all of their sadness and grief on the line for you, but who, the kind of healer that talks about what kind of growth is possible, that talks about that arc of your potential and what is possible for you, and because of their own healing process can help you reach this more elevated place on your arc of potential. That's the kind of healer you're looking for. And let's be honest, ladies, if you are really anchoring into your intuitive acumen, and we all are empathic, we are all intuitive, if you're really anchoring into that and trusting that, you know who to work with and who not to work with. You know who is operating from a genuine place of authenticity and integrity and who isn't. Trust that. Trust that. And make it part of your affirmations. If you don't have the money to work with this person, if you feel like they are out of your league in some way, there are always ways that you can work with any healer that is operating in full integrity with what they do. They can either find a way to work with you, or they can suggest someone that is a great maybe bridge or a step on the ladder to being able to work with them, someone they recommend, someone who is also in integrity but may be more affordable for you. Don't be afraid to ask questions, because the real healers are the ones that are here to help, not to just make money, okay? Yes, I make more money now than I ever did, and it's wonderful, but that's just a side benefit. That's not the end all be all of what I do. I make the money because I'm in full integrity with my gifts, and I pursue this level of self-mastery. I'm always reading, I'm always consuming, I'm always getting more training, I'm always involved in my healing process. I'm always working to bring in a higher level or experience of my gifts to share with my clients. This is the kind of healer you want to be looking for. Maybe it's not me, maybe it's somebody else. And I also am offering, obviously, the Heal, Awaken, Align Bootcamp. So if you are a spiritual entrepreneur, you like what I'm laying down here, you jive with my vibe, you want to get out on this course, there is a payment plan. And I'm doing $50 off. It's 2 monthly payments of $7.99. That's the price that's available till tomorrow night. And then it goes up to $8.49 again. And then the full price is $13.97 right now. That's $100 off the early bird price if you pay in full. And then it goes up to $14.97 tomorrow night. The early bird price ends completely on the 15th. So you get $500 off the whole price of the course if you pay in full right now. There is also the Rewrite Your Money Story session. If the money issue is a real thorn in your side for you and you've been struggling with this, you've been grappling with this, wrestling with this, I highly recommend this session. It's a private session and then a booklet of exercises that help you every time you're asking for money, you reach a new income threshold, and you're asking for another income threshold in your business, in your life. These exercises are designed to meet you there every time. And then there is also the Partnering with the Divine the Divine Mother sessions. These are 3 private sessions with me. I'm going to put all the links for this stuff up here. If you have any questions, let me see. Yeah, this is one of my fears, that I'm completely healed and I couldn't do what I do anymore because I'm done. It's not possible. It's just not possible. Tammy says, I can totally see it now so much more clearly as I'm healing and awakening to myself. Yes, yes. And this only brings in more clarity. And we work on that a lot. Clarity and discernment. Clarity, clarity, clarity in Heal, Awaken, Align Bootcamp. Really powerful stuff. This is the 3rd time that I'm teaching Heal, Awaken, Align Bootcamp on October 1st. I've taught it twice already, and every time I teach it, there is always new content. There is always fresh content. We do 2 live calls, 2 live support calls every week on Mondays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. for 6 weeks. And there are exercises in the support Facebook group that we have set up for you. It's a private Facebook group. Get lots of support from me. These exercises, again, they're designed to meet you wherever you are at on your spiritual journey of healing, of release, of expansion. They are very powerful. The course is very powerful. And it's well worth every penny. So there it is, ladies. I hope this helps you. I hope this really helps you to expand in your thinking and start realizing the importance of saying yes to your shadow. Because it really is saying yes to your divinity when you uncover what's there. So thank you for being here. Mwah. Loving and sending peace to all of you. Bye.